So this is video too because I ran out of space. Even I got the SD card in there. I just put one in there. It runs out of space. So is this thing recording? Yeah. So where I was left off was I planted my winter crops down here. I got two kinds of broccoli. Broccoli is improved. I forget what the name is. I got cabbage and cauliflower. So I got cabbage and oh, I got two kinds of cabbage. Oh, that's right. I got two kinds of cabbage, cauliflower, and two kinds of broccoli. The GA and I forget what the whole name is. So I really want the cabbage to work because, you know, that would be nice to get some sauerkraut because I'll be pulling carrots, which is perfect, right? So, and then I got, of course, over here, my little corn patch. Now, I don't really care much about corn. I'm just planting it because it gets shade in this spot. If you can see the ground, how the shade right here is going to shade out super quick. So as the corn grows taller, right, it gets more sun. So until I find something better to plant, I'm happy with that. And I'll chop up the stalks and leave it in the garden, right? It'll add to the complexity of this medium I'm trying to work with. So the tomatoes are looking good. Everything is really growing, I wouldn't say super well, but pretty damn well, I think. And then in behind the indeterminate tomatoes, some of them are pretty short. Some of them have made it this high. So they're just creeping up now. But these probably won't get much higher than that, right? These ones. These are just a random bunch that I had from last year, some seeds. I had some Italians, some, I didn't even know what the names of them were. I had some Rutgers from the store I bought. So we'll see what turns out. Some Italian pears. So, and then my my carrot patch, actually, I want to check them now. I pulled one out like a week ago just to see what was going on. I got so many in here. Let's see what kind this is. Wow, this one's small. Actually, the other one that I pulled was probably 3 times as big, so this is probably a smaller one. I wish I could stick that back in there now. Maybe I can. But yeah, the other one was much bigger. Could have been a different kind because I got 4 times crammed in there. But we'll see, because if it's a good place for carrots, then I might just pick the best kind for next year and plant more. So, you know, here I got a few peppers down here, a few tomatoes. You know, they're growing okay. I mean, these buckets have some old dirt, so the dirt's pretty depleted. You can tell by just the way things kind of grow. I think it's sluggish. And then I have this entire line of peppers. You're doing pretty good. So I managed to get some sweet banana peppers in, even though a lot of the newer seeds I bought died. So I guess we'll find out soon what's in here, because some are dying back. I have these long orange ones, like you can see them too. It looks like one of those longer, they're like 2 or 3 times as long as a banana pepper, and they're sweet. So I don't know what they were, but if they, you know, if they grow and then I can get the seeds, then that's good, because they were a nice looking pepper, you know, and bigger than banana peppers. So maybe I'll switch to those, right? And then I got my front garden. Now this thing is, I'm gonna have to do something serious about it, because the the soil is just shit. Like it's too sandy. But you know what I noticed is the bush beans grow really well. Okay. So this is what I'm confused about. Is like, okay, yeah, I know it's a bit sandy, I know it's a bit dry, but if you look at for example, keep an eye how big this is. They're all a bit shorter. Actually, they're a bit younger. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. Probably just, I don't know, get some manure. And then, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a few squash out there. I want them to get bigger because I do want to make relish. That's my goal. At least a couple things of relish. And I'll have the cucumbers to do it. I'll have tons. So, wait, look at that cucumber vine. These are, like this vine, like the pickling, it's not nearly as healthy looking as like this one. And this is the improved, I'm pretty sure this is the improved long green. In just terms of like, it just looks not that good, right? So I had white potatoes in here. So I dug all the white potatoes out because the first batch was just pretty pathetic. And then I put in, I got a whole whack of radishes. I got snow peas in there, and then I had some pole beans left from last year's seed batch. I threw them in there, and I built this trellis just to use those bins again because the white potatoes were kind of a disappointment. These are actually the russet potatoes that sprouted up wildly, and then I transplanted them in here because what I had in here before was dying off. So these are still thriving. There should be a lot in there. There's only 3 plants. Of course, over here, oh look at these little sunflower spot in there. So these sunflowers are really doing good in this spot. So you can see the health of these. I've got like 5 or 6 in there compared to the ones out front. It's unbelievable difference. So there's something definitely wrong. And then here's the pepper tower. Right? There's a lot of little peppers in here. Like a smaller variety, they're hot. And they're growing. And we still got almost a solid 2 months of pepper growth left. All of August. Well, I forget last year. I think my last picking, I'll have to check. Maybe it was middle of September. I don't even know. Could have been October. And I got more of these rutabagas in here. Now some of them are, you can't really see. It's hard to see them. Some of them are bulbing up. Some of them aren't bulbing up. I don't know what you call it. I got lettuce here. It's a little hot, they're bolting, but I've still been picking a lot, you know. Picking it. And so they're still alive, which is kind of cool. And then I got some more tomatoes. These were all late. Planted them late. You know, just some leftover stuff. But they'll still produce a little bit, right? Which is nice. And over here I got more peppers, more tomatoes, a whole bunch of peppers down in there. These are just smaller plants, but they'll all produce. So the peppers are just starting to like really come out now. Like some are a little bit early because the plants were from the store, like the habaneros. And then the ones I planted are about 3 weeks behind. So like this thing is unbelievably huge. So we'll see if that makes that's going to make a good relish, right? I don't know how dense they are, but I'll be able to mix maybe zucchini, a couple of cucumbers, make a nice relish. So that's my little update. Oh, the overwintered peppers here. The jalapeno, I'm not too impressed with the growth. And then this kind, I think it's a Thai chili, I don't really know. A lot of little peppers, but I've already been picking them off and eating them because they got some good heat. So they're growing, but they're not like, you know. Over here I got lantern peppers. There's a different kind of a hot pepper. They're like I think they're called jack-o'-lanterns or Scotch bonnets. So these are all second summer. So they're doing not bad, but not fantastic. You know, you can see all the tomatoes in there growing. Yeah, so that's my early August garden tour. Lots of stuff growing here. Good day.